Here with UFC President Dana White, the weigh-ins for UFC 173 are officially over. Renan Barão taking on TJ Dillashaw, a pretty big underdog. Not as big as Dan Henderson, but Dillashaw is a big underdog against this absolute monster. How do you see this fight unfolding?
Over the last several events, we've shown that underdogs mean nothing in this sport. Anybody to have anybody that big of an underdog in this sport is insanity. But that said, I think that Renan Barão, I mean, could I talk about Renan Barão anymore? I'm a huge fan of the kid. I think that he's one of the most, if not the most talented fighters in the world. He's got it all. But TJ Dillashaw, the thing is about this kid, he's very well-rounded too, and he fights just like Renan Barão does. He moves forward. Everything he does is to try to finish you, and that makes for a fun fight.
And speaking of fun fights, that co-main event is almost a light heavyweight contender bout, or eliminator bout when you think about it. But Dan Henderson, I looked at the odds before we came down to the weigh-ins. It's ridiculous. Daniel is pretty much an 11-1 favorite right now.
Yeah, I mean, but it makes sense. Cormier's undefeated. He's moving down from heavyweight. You know, it's not like Henderson looked like a world beater in his last fight. Up until that last punch, he was getting beat. But I said this before, and I'll say it again. People have been counting Dan Henderson out, including myself, for a while now, and he keeps proving everybody wrong.
Incredible ovation for both Jake Ellenberger and Robbie Lawler. Then these two got nose-to-nose, eye-to-eye. That thing got pretty ugly. Were you concerned there for a slight moment?
No, just I love the intensity, man. This is what the weigh-ins are all about. I love the stare-downs. You see the shape the guys are in. You see how intense it is, who's fired up and who's ready. That was one of the sickest stare-downs ever. I mean, it was awesome. Lawler started to walk away and kept looking at him. He was like, are you done yet, or are we going to keep doing this, you know? I love it. I love the intensity, and that fight's going to be awesome.
Short of a Nick Diaz press conference, the one today for UFC 175 was absolutely one of the most electric ones I've ever been lucky enough to be a part of. I was unaware Chael Sonnen was the main event, and he thanked Chris Weidman and Ronda Rousey for their encore performances. I mean, your thoughts on that?
That's Chael. Yeah, it was a great press conference, and I'm looking very forward to not just that weekend of the fights, but that whole week for International Fight Week.
What did you make of that fan that grabbed the microphone? I thought he set the bar for all fans moving forward. He was basically Chael Sonnen's brother or Chael Sonnen Jr. What did you think of that? I tried to drive people to listen. You got to get online to watch this right now. What did you think of him?
He was great. He was great. He went a little long, but he was fantastic.
Ronda Rousey and, of course, Alexis Davis. Obviously, Alexis Davis in tough, but she's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. She is able to defend the armbar. She's aware when the setup is coming. Do you think she's that much of an underdog heading into this fight?
My question is, do you think everybody else wasn't aware of the setup and everybody else didn't train for months to defend that armbar against Ronda? Everybody knows what's coming. Everybody tries to defend it. The scary thing about Ronda is now she's dropping people with body shots. Her hands keep getting better. You know, she's the baddest in the world. She's one of the pound-for-pound best. She's the champion, but still a work in progress. She's still learning every day.
Chris Weidman and Lyoto Machida, for some reason, Vitor Belfort's name comes up in this press conference, and Lyoto told me afterwards when I interviewed him, said, look, Vitor, this is my turn now. Please keep quiet. And we know Vitor apparently said that Chris should come down to Brazil and compete against Vitor. It doesn't make any sense. Are you surprised Vitor's continuing to do this, or is he being smart and keeping his name out there?
I think you guys are keeping his name out there. You guys talk about Vitor more than he talks about himself. You know, Vitor, without a doubt, is obviously very controversial with the media, and but still a favorite and still somebody that everybody likes to talk about.
There was a conference call when Anderson Silva got his surgery. It was pretty clear, I thought, in the conference call, that's why I'm a little amused by some of the stuff, that he was going to return late 2014, 2015. People are saying he's coming back earlier. That's not true, is it?
Anderson? No. He'll be back the end of this year, beginning of next year.
George St. Pierre, have you had a chance to speak with George St. Pierre recently?
I didn't. Lorenzo did a couple days ago. You know, he had his surgery and he's going through therapy and recovering.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
He is the UFC President, Dana White, and we're here at UFC 173, backstage at the MGM.